Hi everyone, it's DJ and this is my June wrap-up. So in the month of June, I read a total of 8 books, which is awesome because yay! And again, it was one of those months that like the first half of the month I read like really a lot, and then like the second half of the month I just kind of dropped off the end of the world when it came to reading. I got very distracted by the World Cup, which is going on still, but I still read 8 books in June, so that's awesome, and I'm gonna tell you which books I read. So let's get started. Alright, the first book that I read is a book that I started in May, but I finished it up in June, and that was Royal Date by Soraya Wilson. This is the first book in the Royals of Montera series, and I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was super cute and adorable, and I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the characters. However, there was just something about it that I wasn't as big of a fan of as the rest of the series, but it did lay a really nice foundation for the rest of the series. But it just, something about it struck me as not as well done as the other ones, but I still really enjoyed it, and it was super cute, and I love that it was set in a different country. I was about to say world. It wasn't a different world, pretty much, but basically, but a different country. It was set in kind of like an Italian sovereignty kind of thing, so it was really cute, and I did really enjoy it. The next book that I read was First We Were Four by Alexandra Saraway, and this one I read for the Read Your Face Off book club, and I finished this one in 2 days because it was so good. I ended up getting the audiobook for it because I found that audiobooks are a little bit easier for me to read at the moment, and oh my goodness, this one, oh my gosh, it is crazy how intricate the stories were, but it was done in a way that just didn't seem like an intricate story. Like, it's a very simple story, but oh my gosh, the way it was done was so well. And oh my gosh, I had an idea of who because it's a mystery thriller type thing, so I had an idea of who the killer was, but I was completely wrong and off, and oh my goodness, when you find out what happened, I'm like, oh my gosh. It was really good. It was so good. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. The next book that I read was Right Text, Wrong Number by Natalie Decker. It is the first book in the Offside series, and it is so cute. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoy the miscommunication type stories, or not so much miscommunication, but like the stories that deal with technology in a way that it's just like, this type of thing could happen, but it might not happen. And I've read quite a few of these where it's the like text messages get transposed and sent to the wrong person, and it ends up being like their perfect person that they needed to meet, that type of thing. But I really enjoyed the way that this one was done because it was done in such a way that you didn't feel like the guy was overpowering the girl too much. Like, he was protective, yes, but the girl stood up for herself. So I really enjoyed that aspect. Like, I really enjoyed it. And I really liked how it played into how society sees us and the way that we portray ourselves one way with our friends and then another way with our other friends, and like how that works, and like the societal norms of teenagehood is just So I really enjoyed that aspect of it too. So, and the next book that I read was Right Gift, Wrong Day. It is it's the novella that comes between the first and second book of the Offside series. And this one is all about the two characters that we met in Right Text, Wrong Number, and they are it's them continuing their story of trying to be a couple in this really weird time, and it's just like really interesting because it was super cute because it was surrounded by Christmas and like gift giving, but his family is crazy and her family is also kind of crazy. So I really liked that it was a continuation of the two characters, because I know that the second book is a continuation of the main character, the girl's sister. So I really liked how this one really focused on the two characters and more of their development of their relationship. So I really enjoyed that, and I cannot wait to read the second one. I haven't yet, but I do plan on reading it eventually. And this one I gave a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was a little bit harder to rate just because it's a novella, so it's harder to rate novellas than it is to rate like the regular books. So, but I did end up giving this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was Engaging Mr. Darcy by Rachel John, and this one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. It is a Pride and Prejudice modern retelling, and of course I had to read it because Pride and Prejudice is my favorite book ever, and I have to read all of the adaptations to Pride and Prejudice because why not? And I really enjoyed this one. It was really cute the way that the two characters came to be and came together, and I really liked the different take on it because it wasn't a true adaptation where they took every single element of the story. Like they twisted it a little bit, so that way it made it fresh and it made it different than all of the other adaptions that are out there, because there are a lot of adaptions of Pride and Prejudice. So I really enjoyed it because it made it a little bit different than what I've read before. So I really enjoyed this one. So the next 3 books I read were all the rest of the books in the Royals of Montera series by Soraya Wilson, and I really enjoyed all of the series. I just had to continue it because they were so good, and I really like this world that was built, and I really enjoyed these stories. So continuing on was Royal Chase, which is the second book in the series, and this one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars because it was so good. I really enjoyed this one. I loved Lemon as a character. I remember her name just because the names, sometimes names like get confusing for me, so I can never remember names, but if they're so different, like Lemon, I'm like, oh yeah, I totally remember her name. And I loved her character. I thought she was amazing. I loved her in the first one as well, but this one I loved her because just the way that she just spoke. She was a Southern lady, but she just like, oh, it was so good. Oh, it was so good. And I really enjoyed the romance between the two characters, and I really liked it. And the next book that I read was the third book in the series, which was Royal Games, and I really liked this one as well because it took the second book and then it took the characters that you loved in the second book. It was more of a continuation of the second book than it was of the first book, which I really enjoyed because I really liked that world, and I really liked this one as well. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars, and it was so adorable and cute, and I want to find me a prince because of the way that it was so well done. Oh, it was so well done. So well done. I really enjoyed the second and I enjoyed this whole series, but specifically the second and third, so Royal Games and Royal Chase, just so much. I enjoyed them. And the last book that I read in June was the 4th book in this series, and it was actually a novella. So it had the characters that we love in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd book, but then it takes it and it's completely different characters, and I actually really enjoyed this one. This one was a Kindle in Motion book, so I really liked all of the actors and everything. I really enjoy the Kindle in Motions, and the only thing I wish is that they would do more, which they did. Compared to some of the other Kindle in Motions that I've read, they did do a little bit more of the actors and their facials of what's going on in the story. So I really enjoyed this one. This one I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Again, it's one of those ones that's really hard to rate because I love the story so much, but it didn't continue most of the story. Like, it deviated from the main story. But I did still really enjoy this one. I really liked Bellamy. I thought she was such a fun character, and Enzo was just amazing. And I love that Lemon was like the brains behind the whole thing. Like, that just made my heart feel so good because just Lemon was back, and I really enjoyed that. So those were all the books that I read in June. It wasn't a huge reading month, but it definitely was a pretty average reading month for me. I mean, I'm not going to complain the 8 books because, I mean, soccer was on. So I can't... soccer. It rules my life when the World Cup is on. Just like the Olympics. It just takes over my brain. That's all I'm thinking about at the moment. But I really did like the books that I read this month. I enjoyed a lot of them. Actually, I enjoyed every single one of them. There wasn't one that I was like, about. So I find that to be more successful than numbers. So I'm really excited, and I cannot wait for July and for August because those are big months coming up, and you will see in my TBRs for those months because they are huge months, and I am so excited for them, and I cannot wait. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and comment down below and let me know about all the books that you read in June. Which ones were your favorites? Which ones did you give 3.5 stars or up? Which ones did you read? Or have you been watching the World Cup? So let me know down below. Thank you again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can hit the button that is right up there. You can also check out my latest video. It is right there. And also check out all of my other wrap-up videos. They are right there. Thank you guys again so much for watching. And until next time, happy reading. Bye guys.